Hello everybody. Today I can identify linear pairs and classify angle pairs as complementary, supplementary, and vertical. So first off, we need to know what each of these pictures represents. So let's take a look at these. We've got vertical angles. Vertical angles are formed when I have intersecting lines, essentially when I have an X. So those are vertical angles, one pair of vertical angles. I also have another pair of vertical angles here, and vertical angles are congruent. And the vertical angle pairs are always across from each other when we have intersecting lines or an X. The picture itself is an X. That's when we have vertical angles. When we have a right angle that's cut into two, since a right angle is 90 degrees, those two angles add to equal 90. Those are called complementary angles. Complementary angles add to equal 90. In this specific picture, when you have a straight line that's cut, well, since a straight angle is 180 degrees, it's cut into two. Those two angles have to add to 180 degrees. There's a special name for when you have a straight line that's cut. It's called a linear pair. But in general, angles that add to 180 are supplementary angles. So linear pairs are always supplementary, but you can have supplementary angles that aren't linear pairs. For example, if I have this angle is 40 degrees, and I have this angle is 140 degrees, these two angles are supplementary because they add to 180, but they're not lying on the same line. Linear pairs are always supplementary, but they're specifically when you have a straight line that's cut. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to identify if angles are complementary, supplementary, vertical, or neither. And just one more thing I want to take a look at, just to help you memorize that complementary adds to 180. I'm sorry, complementary adds to 90, and supplementary adds to 180. Complementary starts with a C. I can make that C into 90. And supplementary starts with an S, and I can make that S into 180. Just a little trick to help you remember which one's which. So we can take a look at 1, 2, 3, 4. You can try it on your own before I go over with you. It's just a matter of identifying. Now that you had an opportunity to look at it on your own, this is a straight line that's cut. This is this picture right here. This is a linear pair. This is neither. It's almost a linear pair, but because it's not a straight line, because the line bends, it's not a linear pair, not complementary, not supplementary, not vertical. This as well is neither. It's neither of those pictures. This one, since this is 90, and since A and B together add to equal 90, this would be complementary. I guess we can take a look at one more. Since I have an X, when I have an X intersecting lines, I have vertical angles formed. It's just identifying the pictures. Now we're going to apply those pictures starting at number 9. So step 1, we have to identify which picture this is. It's a linear pair. The rule for linear pair is that they're supplementary, or they add to 180. So if I know what this angle is, I would subtract it from 180 to find the other angle. And this would be 130. So now first you're identifying the picture, you're knowing the rule, you're applying the rule. So that's geometry, my friends. Which picture is this? Well, these are vertical angles. What's the rule for vertical angles? Vertical angles are congruent. So that means whatever one is, the other one is. So if this is 43, this is also 43. Let's skip ahead to number 12. What picture is this? Well, I see a right angle that's being cut. That means they add to 90. That is complementary. The rule for complementary, as we just said, is that they add to 90. So I can subtract 63 from 90 to get 27. So that's the first level of applying the rules after we identify the picture. And now we're going to take it one step further, and we're going to incorporate algebra into it. So for number 17, we need to identify the picture. So what picture is this? It's a linear pair. The rule for linear pair is that they're supplementary or add to 180. So I create an equation that represents that those angles add to 180. I do 3x plus 18 plus 93 equals 180. From there, I do algebra. Combine like terms. 18 and 93 is 111. Yeah. Subtract 111 from both sides. 3x equals 69. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. X is 23. It's just asking for x. If it asked me for the angles, I would then substitute them in, but it's not. Number 18, we have to identify this picture. Take a moment, identify this picture on your own. It's vertical angles. And what's the rule for vertical angles? Well, vertical angles are congruent, meaning they're the same, they're equal. So what would be an equation to represent that these are the same, that these are equal? Well, this vertical angle must equal that vertical angle, so this vertical angle equals that one. From there, I do some algebra. And I get x is 20. And again, I'm asking for x, so I'm done. And I think I got one more picture for you here. Since these two angles add to 90, they're complementary. I know that complementary adds to 90. So why don't you try to create an equation that represents a situation? All right. This angle plus this angle adds to equal 90. You need to know your pictures. Your vocabulary is very helpful. 6x plus 42 equals 90, minus 42 minus 42. 6x equals 48, divide by 6, divide by 6, x is 8. And that's it. It's all about, the most important thing in this lesson is knowing the picture, knowing the rule that goes along with it. And once you do that, it's just applying algebra or arithmetic to it. So again, vertical angles are formed when you have intersecting lines. They're congruent. When you have a right angle that's cut, those angles add to 90. That's supplementary. And probably most importantly in this lesson, when you have a straight line that's cut, that's called a linear pair, and the angles add to 180. Practice. See ya.